and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Now, this story is going to be difficult to talk about, but once again, we're seeing the hypocrisy of, well, political families, I guess. But this shouldn't surprise any one of us. But again, it shows what kind of environment that we see not only in the political landscape, but in the corporate media landscape as well. So just so that everyone can understand this, on Wednesday last week, my colleague Daniel Upker did a story on how Chris Cuomo got suspended from CNN. On Saturday, we all found out how then basically Chris Cuomo was fired from CNN. Now today, something else has come up. Chris Cuomo denies allegations of sexual misconduct after being fired from CNN. So very similar to his brother, now he's being accused of misconduct. Anchor Chris Cuomo has denied an allegation of sexual misconduct after he was fired from CNN. Cuomo, one of the network's star anchors, was the subject to an investigation unrelated to the misconduct allegations by the New York Attorney General, which concluded that Cuomo, good old Fredo, had helped his brother, Sonny, former governor of New York State, Andrew Cuomo, defend himself against sexual misconduct allegations. However, following Cuomo's termination from CNN, an allegation of sexual misconduct came to light. Following his termination on Saturday, Cuomo denied this misconduct allegation that had this time been made against him. The allegation was first reported by the New York Times. This apparently anonymous allegations are not true to the extent that they were sent to CNN to negate what Chris Cuomo told his audience. He fully stands by his on-air statements about his connection to these issues, both professionally and profoundly personal way. Whatever on that. A statement from Cuomo's representative, Stephen Goldberg, reads, "If the goal is in making false and unvetted accusations was to see Mr. Cuomo punished by CNN, it may explain his unwarranted termination." The allegations were submitted to CNN on Wednesday by attorney Deborah S. Katz, who represents the unnamed accuser. Katz said on Saturday that her client is a former junior colleague of Cuomo and that the situation is unrelated to the former governor of New York, the Times reported. The unnamed accuser came forward after hearing Cuomo's on-air statements in response to the allegations made against his brother, in which Cuomo said he always cared very deeply about the issues, and profoundly so. "I just wanted to tell you that," according to a statement from Katz. In that statement obtained by NBC News, Katz said when her client heard the hypocrisy of Chris Cuomo's on-air words and disgusted by his efforts to try and discredit these women, my client retained counsel to report his serious sexual misconduct against her to CNN. Now, I want to stop right here, because here's the thing. We do need to have due process. But very similar to Governor Andrew Cuomo's story, as soon as one woman came forward, many others came forward as well. And all their stories were the same. And so the same thing, too, with Chris Cuomo. We need to see due process. But in this political environment, in this sick system that we're in, it shouldn't surprise anyone that in the political landscape, there is examples of bullying, harassment, horrible misconduct. All that can be also found in the corporate media landscape as well. Because I've said this before, the same people who own our politicians are the same people that control our media. And notice that there's a lot of political families connected to corporate media. CNN, Fox, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, you name it. I'm very glad that at least, these allegations are being addressed. And I think we need to find out just how many more people will come forward, because this is just the beginning. But the sad fact is, there's a little bit more to this in regards towards how CNN handled Chris Cuomo. Because throughout all of that coverage in 2020, as Governor Andrew Cuomo was being praised, his administration turned a blind eye and helped cause the deaths of thousands and thousands of senior citizens in nursing homes all across New York State. They have friends and family members that are still left asking questions, and this is because of the negligence of Governor Andrew Cuomo's administration. There's a lot of scandals surrounding Governor Andrew Cuomo, and CNN let one of its star anchors praise him, interview him, give him access. At the same time, too, as these women came forward, Chris Cuomo was giving advice to his brother how to handle this situation. No journalist should do that at all. Damn sick system. Now, continuing on, CNN did not immediately respond to a request for comment made by NBC News, But in a statement obtained by the Washington Post, the network said it had retained a respected law firm and would investigate as appropriate. Although Katz stated that CNN acted promptly after the allegations, the network said it already has cause to terminate due to Cuomo's conduct with his brother. However, when new allegations came to us this week, we took them seriously and saw no reason to delay taking immediate action. It did not clarify what the specific allegations were, according to the Post. The Times reported that Katz also represents Charlotte Bennett, a former aide to Andrew Cuomo, who also made accusations of sexual harassment. In a statement made after his firing, Cuomo said that he was disappointed but proud of the team at Cuomo Primetime, his show on the network. This is a quote from him. "This is not how I want my time at CNN to end, but I already told you why and how I helped my brother. So let me now say, as disappointing as this is, I could not be more proud of the team at Cuomo Prime and the work we did as CNN's #1 show in the most competitive time slot." In a statement like that, you never want to say that your show was #1, especially as you're being fired, as you gave advice to your brother, which is, again, goes up against any kind of journalistic integrity that you might have had. You just don't do it. It's simple as that. But what can we expect from this kind of corruption? This is why we got to break the monopolies of corporate media. This is why we have to stand against this sick system that we have. Now, I'm very sorry about what happened to this woman who has had to deal with these allegations. Definitely due process needs to take place. And chances are, as we've covered with Andrew Cuomo's story, more women might come forward.